Squad Radio Network welcomes you to the SpiritPioneers.com channel, where you can find Momma J Speaks, also simulcasted on theartsradio.com channel as well. Hello, everyone. Welcome
Yes.
Welcome to.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. See?
Welcome to another segment of Momma J Speaks with my special guest, brought to you by from Controlled Chaos.
Controlled Chaos, yep.
Gwiggy!
How's it going?
He's my wonderful guest today.
Mm-hmm.
Helped to keep me in line because after all, I need that every now and then. But anyways,
I'll get her trained up yet. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everyone, I hope all you listeners and followers and everybody else in between, welcome. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know a lot of you probably have had thoughts about that Connecticut shooting. That is going to be part of our discussion tonight. But for anyone that's new watching, the premise of my show is interactive dialogue from whomever is with me, or me, myself, and I when I'm by myself, or from you listeners. And it's about open topics from the faux pas of life to dabbling of politics, education, relationships, and the arts as well, sharing of any written poetry, commentary, along with metaphysical and spiritual comedy, flair, and undertones. So that is just for any of you new people that might be suddenly tuning in, which I hope so. If you'd like to call in and participate tonight, the number is 727-493-2055. So let's start off with weekend recap.
Wow, yeah. Good times.
What did you do this weekend?
I hung out with this very attractive woman at a holiday party.
Really?
Yeah, bought her a drink, and we drank a lot, made fun of hobbits. Good times.
Awesome. Sounds
Not
like
really made fun with hobbits. We just hung out with them.
Yeah, so, the hobbits were pretty cool.
They were cool.
Yeah.
They kept trying to get that drunk Latin guy hooked up. Yeah. That guy probably couldn't speak very good English before he started drinking, and then it was even worse afterwards.
It got progressively
Yeah.
worse. Yeah, because it's funny. I think I was at the holiday party too.
Yeah, you might have been there. I think I remember seeing.
I saw you there.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
there were a lot of people there.
Well, there was less than 100.
True, but that's a lot in some places.
Yes, and
some parties don't get up in the double digits, so that was a success.
That would usually be my parties.
No, sorry. Didn't mean to bring up a sore subject.
It's okay. At any rate, any of my listeners, they typically know I end up posing about 3 questions.
Okay.
To get their mind going.
Nice.
So my questions for this evening is coming from a place of loving what is, instead of projecting and changing and doing all the crazy stuff that we typically do as people because we just do that.
That would be me. Definitely the crazy people.
Yeah. Do you have those moments where something occurs and you start to project and put all your thoughts into what you think is going on, and it's totally the polar opposite once it's really said and done?
I would say so, yeah.
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 That's what a lot
Work
of us...
usually happens to be the place where that tends to be the biggest issue sometimes, where you just project any kind of bad thoughts or anything of what's going on, and it's probably the farthest thing in the world, but it's not any real malicious intent to be held against you at work or anything like that, or nobody's out to get me, but that sort of thoughts, those kind of come into play, sometimes. So,
yeah. Is that like insecurity or
I don't know if it's insecurity, but I mean just sort of things where maybe things aren't going the way you'd expected things to go at work, and then you just sort of project how feel
much worse it could go.
Yeah.
Well, that is what we all get cut off.
Yeah, get cut off.
Get caught up in with having these high expectations, whether it's in a relationship or at work or with politics and our government. we have these expectations of how we want our lives to be, and damn
Nice.
it, it's just not working. But at any rate, 4 questions that can change your life. So when something comes up with a person or situation, first question you ask is it true? What you perceiving, is it really, really true?
That's a good question to ask. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then
How would you answer that in some questions too? I mean, if it's like in a relationship or something like that, when you're with somebody and you're projecting how you feel, maybe this is it just something where you would ask somebody straight on, is this, am I crazy for thinking like this, or how would you do that? I mean, some of these issues could probably be delicate, but
I'm learning to ask the aspect of, I need clarification.
okay.
What is your meaning? Where are you coming from? Because I'm huge at doing that. Oh my gosh, I can literally put myself into such a frenzy
Mm-hmm.
and turn something into this big, magnificent mountain. And I learned it from my family. It's
Oh wow.
the things that you learn from family. And so yeah, these questions came across that I decided to type up, and I really started to mull them over and
Mhm.
everything. It's from this book called Loving What Is by Byron Katie. She's actually a chick. Not a
Oh, okay.
dude.
Wow. Yeah. So Byron is actually her first name too, or is it like just?
That's how it
That's how
was
it's.
on the book.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So
That probably
maybe
is her
it's
way.
a
Yeah.
reversal, but
That's interesting.
anyways. So the first question is it true? Then you ask yourself, what's the reality of it?
Mhm.
And then whose business is it? So is it you're getting yourself stirred into somebody else's business,
Mhm.
or is it solely your own business? And what is the actual reality
Yeah.
of it all? So that was the 2 parts to the one question.
Yeah. Is it true, and what is the reality? Because those two could almost be synonymous in a sense. You know,
Mhm.
reality and what's true. Technically, I guess in some
Right.
cases, maybe not all the time too, but.
No. And then we have like the second question, which is, can you absolutely know? Like, no, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
That it's true. Because there's always a difference between knowing and feeling.
Yeah. Definitely.
And how often do we go with our feelings as
Mhm.
opposed to what is actually known?
Yeah.
I think you guys go
That's
more with your
where the thing.
knowing,
Yeah.
and women go with our feeling.
No, I mean, I think definitely that's one of the biggest things is what you think you know is true, or what you more feel is true when you're trying to go with that, when actually the opposite is true. I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm
So
talking in very broad generalizations at the moment, but I mean, at the same time, it's still you can equate that to any kind of situation. I think. Most
exactly,
places.
including work.
Yeah. So.
Okay. The other aspect to that is when you think that it's true, and it means that you're blah 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 blah, this that da 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 da. And what do you think you would have? So let's see, if you thought that it was true, but it
Mhm.
was actually something else, what do you really think you would have ended up with?
That's a deep question. It just goes all the way around. It's like if you think it was true and that's what you thought was supposed to happen, what do you think the outcome should be for yourself if that were the case? In other words, is that where we're going with this? Because I know I'm confusing myself. I'm sorry. I'm probably confusing the question too. But
It's okay.
let me see the question. Let me see how it's written. Which one is this here?
It is.
When you think that it's true and it means that it's just whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
Obviously, yeah. When
what
you
do you
think it's
think would
true,
have happened? What do you think you would have ended up with if
Mhm.
you weren't thinking that?
if you weren't thinking the false truth. In other words. Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
See, you got it.
I got you. There we go.
So, anyways, there's just a few questions for people to start pondering. I will keep this for not next week. We're not coming back until January 3rd.
This is the last show of the year until January. Yeah.
Ooh,
Or
wow.
possibly this could be the last show ever because the world could perish on Friday. But
This is
still,
true.
you know,
Or I could perish.
it could happen. We all could.
God could finally decide, okay, I'm finally taking you because all those other times didn't work before.
Eh,
But that's
I'll show up
neither
and keep
here.
reading this list every
Yeah,
weekend for
yeah,
you if
yeah.
that's the case.
Thanks. But anyways, so there's the questions for you all.
Mhm.
I hope you did understand them, or it did start mulling some things around in your own minds. When we come back next year, I will give you more from these questions. And so instead, we are going to switch gears because I know this weekend a lot of people have been having vigils, and
Yeah.
the president went to Connecticut
Mm-hmm.
because unfortunately a person that was very, very ill within himself, emotionally and mentally, he was a shattered, tormented soul himself.
Yeah, to have been. I mean,
Decided to take the lives of very young souls, of 6 and 7-year-olds up in the Connecticut area at that school because of his anger and resentment and whatever else he had going on within himself, which was hurt and fear within himself. And thus, he took it out on everybody around him. And unfortunately, it was children. And that has spun this country into what I believe will end up being a wake-up call to the point of it's a blessing in disguise that this has happened.
Yeah.
Because everyone is becoming aware that violence needs to end. And guns, access to guns needs to be very limited to probably everybody, especially the type of guns that were used in this heinous situation.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely like to hear if anybody has any opinions. Call in at 727-493-2055 and, you know, let us know where your thoughts are with all of that as well. And see what happens. But what do you think of all of that?
It's kind of a disturbing situation. I mean, it is a very disturbing situation to think somebody could just walk into an elementary school and just open fire on people or little kids like that too. That's just absolutely insane. I mean, it's sick that we're sitting here having this actual conversation that this actually happened, you know. And it's I mean, it's interesting to find out the way we find out our news nowadays too. I mean, people just you find this out. I think I found this out on Facebook, you know, which is the way I find out most horrible tragedies lately too, which is terrible. But
Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just it's sick to think that this guy had access to this kind of weaponry. I mean, I don't know what they said was truly wrong with this guy, if he actually had some severe mental problems, or they said I heard a lot of different communications. I think we still don't really have a clear picture of what the guy actually had, if he was somewhat autistic, had Asperger's or something like that, and various different things, to where he had some severe mental handicaps that really messed with his triggered this off or something like that. But I mean, just the thought of someone actually being able to do that is just insane. I mean, this shouldn't be. The fact of the matter is just, I mean, in any kind of situation, like, I mean, this is a in a town, regular suburban area, small town.
Like that you would never think anything like this would happen. A lot of families move to that particular area because of the low crime, and they thought this would be the perfect place to raise their family, and just know that that element has shattered everyone's lives.
Yeah.
That now, no matter where you move to, you might think you've moved to a safe area, and you think that you might, you know, have a place where you can have security and just um, balance in your life and all of this. But then when you are dealing with other factors and other elements of people that are not balanced within themselves, when they have too much of their own stuff that is really conflicting and just being thrown out at everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a projection of his internal stuff that he had going
Yeah.
on. I mean, I can see everything from a metaphysical standpoint, and a lot of people may understand where I'm coming from, may not, but this is just to give a different perspective of things. Everybody was a victim, including him.
Mm-hmm.
And so all we can really do is put out love, healing, and forgiveness for everyone that was involved, including him, because he does not know what he does not know.
Mm-hmm.
And any person that goes to that extreme, they're at a place where their ego and their darkness is what is ruling their world. And if they are choosing that path, I mean, we can't do anything to force people not to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But all we can do is, just continue to hold our vigils and know that these children, I don't think these children will end up going through this out of vain.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that knowing how our president is a humanitarian type of president,
Mm-hmm.
which I am, some people might agree or not agree, but I love you. I love you, President Obama. I do. You and Michelle are fabulous. Thank you for being our president, doing your best. I know it's very, very difficult. However, he's taken his time out
Mm-hmm.
of doing the politics and everything else. He's caring about these families. He's really wanting to make a change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so something like this, I definitely feel is going to push forward a huge change so we can create a
Mm-hmm.
world of peace and unity and kindness to
Yeah.
each other.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So the only problem with this particular issue is where do we start? Is it just with the assault rifles? Is that the thing that just has to change, or what else has to change to make this sure this sort of thing doesn't happen again? Is there things where we should have seen the signs with this guy? Should this guy have been under some severe treatment? Was there anybody else around in his life that could have caught some of the problems that he was having? I mean, obviously, from what most of the news said, this guy borrowed the gun that he used from his mom's house or something like that. I mean, I don't quite understand what has to change, and what, I mean, in this situation, should that particular gun even been in an area where he could have borrowed it? I mean, that, this was a serious assault rifle that we're talking about here. That's one of the things that most of the people, especially a lot of the people that are absolutely outraged, are trying to get rid of now, or want to start talking about making them inaccessible for just regular people to have.
Yeah,
them.
I totally agree that these automatic weapons, I don't believe in guns at all.
Yeah, I don't have a gun either. So.
Because I have this belief, or it's something within me that I feel that if you hold on to anything that brings negativity and darkness that can really, really hurt somebody that much and kill somebody, you are basically giving it the okay for that to occur into your life. And I mean, I understand people have gotten guns for protection and everything, but as far as I'm concerned, if somebody's going to do something to me, it's going to happen no matter what. Whether I have a gun, it's just going to happen because that's meant to be, But these automatic weapons. I mean, I get freaked out when my kids are playing Call of Duty and
Nice.
they have those automatic weapons and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I'm asking my kids when they're playing that, do I have to be worried? Are you going to, when you get older, are you going to suddenly be that person that carries those guns and shoots up people? Like, I ask my kids this
Mhm.
because I'm concerned. What do I have to
Yeah.
worry about? And I just feel that some of these games need to be eliminated as far as allowing automatic violent
Mm.
gum type stuff. And then also making it so no one can actually get an automatic weapon unless you're going to war. Are you
Yeah.
part of a
Yeah.
military? Like, I thought that's all you were.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
had to
some
be
people
part
have
of a
these guns because
military.
they say, oh, we like to use it for hunting or something like that, which is ridiculous. You're not going to use an assault rifle to go out and hunt a deer or go
Or
duck hunting or anything like
how
that. I
about a
mean,
buffalo?
buffalo. I mean, yeah, people go buffalo hunting all the time, right? So, but I mean, just seriously, it's a
The
little over the top.
Indians used to use bow and arrows.
Yeah.
And they used to do that trick. Let's just go back to bows and arrows.
There we go. I mean, heck, we got a show on CW on Wednesdays called Arrow. He's the Green Arrow, so I mean that works. So he only uses arrows.
Really?
Yeah.
And it still
He's
does.
a comic book character.
Oh,
Sorry,
really?
it's too crazy.
See, I don't I don't do comics, sorry.
That's okay. I don't do a lot of them anyways, but myself. But
Oh, okay.
I'm just in all various different arrays of
Reading.
yeah.
I gotcha.
So.
Green Lantern is what comes to my mind.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well.
That used to come to my mind too all the time. When everybody said green anything, it was like, oh, Green Lantern? Is that what it is? But yeah.
Yeah. So my answer to your question, as I totally went like that,
It's okay,
was I think they should eliminate anyone having access to automatic assault rifles.
Yeah.
Period.
See, the only problem is that too, though, is some of the people that do have them aren't going to want to let them go, and that's the biggest problem. That that you still hide behind this whole saying, "Guns don't kill people, people kill people," and all other crap. And I mean, then they throw behind the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and everything like that. I mean, there has to be some sort of a give here. You can't just be all, no, you can't have this. This is just some random act or something like that. It all has to be psychological testing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would make sense too. Yeah.
Psychological testing.
I mean, look at some of the things. I mean, even if you remember the documentary by Michael Moore, Bowling for Columbine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, one of the biggest things that happened there is after the shooting in Columbine, there was an NRA meeting not too far down the road. Charlton Heston was speaking out of. Wow. And he was one of the first things he walked out on stage saying was, out of my cold, dead hand. Like, you'd have to pry it out of my cold, dead hand, my gun.
Wow.
I mean, that's just ridiculous that these people are out there thinking like this. I was kind of wondering if we were going to pop that in the news. Some NRA meeting somewhere near Connecticut would be screaming the same thing. Would that be, is that what we're going for here? I mean.
Well, with people becoming more and more emotionally and mentally unstable because they're having their ego flare-ups.
Yeah.
Do you understand about ego yet?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You rock. Cool. So, read Eckhart Tolle and you'll better get a grip about the ego, because I did in the past few years. So that was really good for me. Finally learned, there's a healthy ego and a negative, unhealthy ego.
Okay.
You need an ego to get through life. You need to have a personality. We have to have that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we become a snail.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
However, the darkness, the shadow aspect of an ego, a lot of people are coming into that because of their fear and the lack of love that they feel within themselves and in life. And that is where there needs to be a lot of healing.
Yeah.
Just a lot of internal self-healing and people starting to go within themselves to work on themselves, because everybody goes on the outside of them. It's everybody else's fault on the outside and nothing is on the inside. Well, hello, people. everything comes from the inside, and we project it and we manifest it outward from us.
Mhm.
So if your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions are out of alignment and they're out of whack, it's going to show up in your life in the way that it has.
Mhm.
And so with this whole situation, I just I can't believe that somebody took the little children,
Yeah.
because I have my children 11 and 15, and I have lots of nieces and nephews all in that age range.
Mhm.
And it's like, I can only imagine what those families are feeling.
Mhm.
And I really want to just put a moment of silence for them and just hold them in a sacred place of healing, because that's the only way that they're eventually going to be able to get through it
Mhm.
and stuff. So we will do that. um, all of you out there watching, just take a moment and close your eyes and imagine sending out as much love and healing energy that you can feel, and send it out into the world, because that is what we are needing right now. Okay. Thank you all for that brief moment of silence and just sending it out. So,
Mhm.
on to new things,
Okay.
because
Mhm.
got to move forward.
Mhm.
That's one thing. We touched on it. Holidays. We're coming up on the holidays.
Definitely.
Did you get all your Christmas shopping done?
Not even close.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I'm getting there, but still got some stuff to get still.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm realizing that I am going to start shopping on Black Friday.
Yeah. You missed it this year, by the way, just so you know.
I've missed it every single year. I
Yeah.
have never ever done a Black Friday.
I usually end up working it for just whatever reason, wherever I'm at. Happens to be a place where I happen to be having to work for Black Friday. Just
Really? I
not
bet
a fun
that's
experience.
entertaining.
It's not. Actually,
Really?
not too bad. Actually, about a year ago, I was working at a mall food court, which was a horrible job. And I happened to be there. I got there, I think they were around 12, 1 o'clock or something like that. And for whatever reason, they were doing these protests last year, sort of a mic check or whatever. And you can find these on YouTube.
Oh,
It's
it's
hysterical.
called Occupy Movement.
Yeah. Part of the Occupy movement and everything like
Yeah.
that too. And they were a bunch of people were sitting in the food court, and they did mic check, and then they just started reading some statement over and over. Everybody screaming, and as soon as not really screaming, and it was a peaceful little protest in a sense.
Right.
Basically, I think a lot of it was they were protesting like big corporations and everything like that, and just the
Yes.
the fact that we
I
didn't
was
have jobs.
part of that last
You were
year.
part of that last year, okay?
Yeah.
But so you might know a little bit more about this than me, but I mean, it was a peaceful enough protest. Just it was a lot of screaming. They were sitting in the food court, kind of just like one of those flash mobs or something like that. Was really all the whole thing was.
Yeah.
But the place where I was at, security showed up right away, just started getting rid of people right off the bat.
Yeah, that's what they've done.
Because I mean, I don't think they brought in any signs or anything like that. They weren't in anybody's face.
No.
They were just they occupied part of the food court and just started. Repeat after me, mic check,
Yeah,
and everybody
yeah.
repeated whatever this guy was saying. So
Yeah, I remember those mic checks.
Yeah.
It's the freedom of speech that they were experiencing. And
it's freedom of speech, just not in the food court.
well, actually they kind of got rid of the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I was there for the funeral.
You were?
Yes.
Where would you say the absolute death of freedom of speech came? If
Well,
you're saying you were there for the funeral, I'm
I was in Orlando, and I participated in the Occupy movement of that particular funeral. It was a specific acronym,
Mhm.
but it was basically our rights to free speech had gone down the tubes.
Mhm.
And so that puts us in a keyhole now where we're not allowed to really speak of things as much as we
Yeah.
were able to. But I think when you're on the internet, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. I mean,
So we can express
yeah.
whatever.
I mean, it's the interesting thing with freedom of speech in a sense. Like for one, I can see that it started with politics, where they started to slowly push people away who were just trying to speak their mind. Like when you go to any of the political conventions, both sides, they have certain protesting areas
Mm-hmm.
where you're protesting. You have to stay within this area, which is, you know, half a mile down the street from where the actual interesting action is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, I mean, they showed this on movies and stuff like that. See, there's the protest area, and there's about a mile down the road where they're actually having their convention that we're trying to protest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous what we've been doing to freedom of speech. And the other side of that too, though, is that we're okay with freedom of speech if it matches what our views are in a sense too. Because I mean, and I'm not condoning, I'm not saying that these people are right. There's other people that go out there and protest horrible things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, one of the people that's in the news, the Westboro Baptist Church, who protested funerals of fallen soldiers who were coming back from Iraq and Iran and everything, and Afghanistan. And now apparently there's rumors that they're going to be protesting these actual, the horrible thing that happened in Connecticut. They're going to be protesting those funerals. Not really protesting, but just, I guess, speaking their mind. I'm just sort of outside of the funerals and stuff like that. I mean, we look at this as saying, sure, they have the right, but have a sense, and like I said, I'm not in any way condoning and saying that they are right, but I mean, in some cases, you should actually have a little bit of a heart and, voice your opinion somewhere else at this particular point.
I definitely feel that.
But that's the other part of that double-edged sword where we sit here and we say, okay, you have freedom of speech, but if it's not to
what
our
I
liking,
agree with.
we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to say that.
Right. That's where everything is a duality.
Yeah.
Everything's a duality. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
I remember my dad told me that all the time.
Yeah.
Did your dad say that too?
Plenty of parents have told me that. Not just my parents, but other people's parents, teachers, everything. I mean, come on. It's one of the oldest things in the book.
Check your baggage.
I have no idea what he's doing there, but pay no attention to what the
sound
engineer is doing on the computer. It's okay.
Go Adam. Yay. I guess he's going on a trip or something. I don't know.
Could be. You never know.
Baggage check.
That's
so
the new flash mob movement right there.
Yeah.
Baggage check. We'll just go to the airport and start speaking our mind.
Have you
about
ever done
something.
a flash mob where you?
I have not. No.
I want
can't
to.
say that I have. No.
I definitely want to do a flash mob because it's dancing, but knowing me, I'll do totally the opposite way of what everybody is doing, and thus I'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Nice. Actually, there's one thing that was always pretty interesting too that they've done. There's a group, and I think they're mainly in New York, but they might be in other places, other bigger cities too. It was called Improv Everywhere, and they'd email some of the people that were going to participate this and give them specific things that they were going to do, and they would just show up to these places doing very random acts. It's interesting things. Either they would do crazy things on the subway or things like that.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, they actually did this thing. They did a story in NPR a while back. This one group from Improv Everywhere, this band from out of town was coming to some New York bar or something like that. So they got a big group of people from Improv Everywhere to go to this band. And what they did was they sent everybody the website and links to get the band's music and everything like that. So when the band shows up to this little tiny bar, everybody shows up there just to see the band, and they're screaming and singing along with the music and trying to pick out, get autographs or whatever from the band too. It's just this tiny little band from I think they were either from Vermont or something like that, and they came into the city, or maybe Massachusetts, I don't know. But
and
it
then
was
they did
interesting.
a flash mob.
Well, they didn't do anything. That was the whole bit, basically.
Oh,
Is they
that
just
was just
showed
the
up
whole bit.
as fans of this, small time band that, nobody really ever heard of.
And
They were just
thus,
coming in.
that band blew up, didn't they?
Not really, no.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I don't remember how the story went, but it actually had a weird adverse effect on the band and everything like that too, I think. But it just made every other show afterwards kind of a letdown or something like that. It wasn't quite the effect I think that they were looking for. But
Oh, well, that happened.
but just these are the sort of things just similar to flash mobs that they do. So
You do improv.
yes, mostly a lot of short form.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've done improv.
Nice.
Yeah. At the SAC Lab in Orlando.
Oh, nice, cool.
I took classes there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I know
Yeah.
a little bit. And then the rest of the time I wing it.
That's pretty much what we do in improv too. I mean, most of the stuff we did was a lot of short form gamey stuff, kind of like you would see on Whose Line Is It Anyways or Wild and Out, stuff like that. And we kind of had the stuff that I've done has been, we've sort of had a flip hip hop flair to it and a little bit sort of our own flavor and ideas and stuff like that. It's a lot of just really just being able to think your way through a situation and stuff like that. We haven't done a lot of longer stuff. When you get to the longer improv stuff, the long form, you're developing characters and trying to fit that character into whatever situation you've been given and stuff. So
Oh, true acting then.
just about, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That sounds good.
that's why a lot of the longer form improv isn't always as funny, but it takes a little bit more to develop and stuff like that too. Yeah.
Thus, we're segueing into what Gwiggy
I
actually
know.
does.
A little bit, yeah.
So why don't you tell us what show you're on? Since you're my guest.
I'm your guest, yeah. Well, let's see. I'm in an interesting show. I'm on Control Chaos every Tuesday night from 9 to 11. This show originally started with Adrian Primadonis, who's lead singer for a metal cover band here in the Tampa Bay area called Papa Cherry. Very great band. He's been sick for the last few weeks, so he won't be back until January himself. But definitely he's just his own entity. He's got a lot of great energy. To watch one of his shows is just fantastic. And it was funny because we kind of came. I was hanging out at the studio. He came in to do his show, and his show just happened to be after a friend of mine's show. Seriously Silly with Sharon Nolan, who's here on Tuesdays as well.
Oh yeah.
And so we met him that night, and he was like, "Yeah, come on in and talk on the show and stuff like that." And he liked us, and we kept coming back every Tuesday. So then we just sort of became this interesting duo of heavy metal rock star plus comedian, and it's odd chemistry that we have.
You guys
so
are the odd couple.
I know we definitely are. So,
but that's
and
awesome.
we just have fun. So it's a great show. I mean, we do stupid stuff. We've had
prank calls.
Yeah. Called up the Westboro Baptist Church on a couple of occasions and left them a message. Had an argument with some of the people from there too before.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, when the convention was here, actually, it was funny because I think Adrian actually looked a couple of those people in the eye. Started getting a heated discussion when one of the conventions was here in Tampa.
Really?
Oh yeah. So that was some interesting stuff.
Adrian.
And we've done some other stupid, crazy stuff. We've called bars. We've almost got sued by Burger King and stuff like that. It was crazy. So
wow.
It was fun stuff.
Very eclectic. So anybody that's watching my show, if you thought my moments are controlled chaos, no. Watch their show.
We have
it's
absolute
real
controlled chaos.
Mine are just dealing with the faux pas that occur in life.
We make all the faux pas in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Actually, we really do make the faux pas in our lives. We just don't realize it most of the time.
Very nice.
So, if anybody was interested, you know how I tell you all. No, I share with you all. I share with you all these different books and authors and all kinds of resources that
and then you
go
tell them to read it. Read it.
And then I invite you to read such things.
Insist. It's much more fun.
Well,
give homework, grade people.
Yeah, actually, some people think I do.
You have to sit in the corner for the next show if you get a bad grade on this stuff here,
Yeah. So I was at my mom's house recently, and my mother, she collects books, whether it's hard, regular books, or now on audio and DVDs. Love you, Mom.
These are these are CDs, not DVDs, or what are they?
These are CDs.
Okay, so these are audiobooks then.
So audiobooks here. Greg Braden, The God Code, but this particular one is The Spontaneous Healing of Belief, Shattering the Paradigm of False Limits. I have yet to listen to this, so when I do, y'all will get us a review or
A review of it.
A review
Okay.
of this.
Synopsis would just be the I don't know. It doesn't matter. Tomato, tomato. I guess at this point.
And then there's the unleashing the power of the God Code, the mystery and meaning of the message in our cells.
Mm-hmm.
And this stuff, I've started to watch Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton, and they're scientists that have been able to find out how science and spirituality are actually married. It is so awesome.
That's actually cool.
Deep, cool stuff. I'm like, yeah. I get really excited about that stuff. I don't know why. I'm a
I
geek.
can dig it, man. Hey, that's cool.
I'm a geek. Geeks unite. Right, Adam?
Right. Rock on, brother.
Adam is such an awesome, sweet geek engineer, as he calls himself.
Or his true name is Frodo.
Frodo. Yeah. No, not him. He's taller than the Hobbit.
I'm just saying that was the name we dubbed him. Adrian dubbed him that name, actually.
Yeah, and it's kind of caught on.
It's caught on. This is Frodo the engineer.
You're Frodo now.
Even has a Facebook page.
Really?
Does, yeah.
You are evolving. That is so awesome.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
So be careful if you get him jewelry for Christmas or anything like that. He might just throw it in a mountain, in a lava pit somewhere.
You know? I have never ever watched The Hobbit, like all 3, 4,
well,
5.
That was Lord of the Rings. They're actually just doing The Hobbit now. If we want to truly geek out. But yeah, those are movies that are coming out now. The first installment of The Hobbit just came out last week.
And if you want to know more about The Hobbit, check out my show.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, just go ahead and what did you think of The Hobbit there, Adam?
I thought it was Peter Jackson's finest work.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I wrote a huge 5-paragraph review of it on my Facebook page. So
now let me ask you a question real quick because I saw The Hobbit too. I've read that's the one of the pretty much the only Tolkien book I've read is The Hobbit. How do you think it's going to be possible for him to do 3 movies with this particular book? I mean,
I think it's really easy to do considering he's using Peter Jackson's using the stuff that Tolkien wrote in his appendices of Return to the King when he was planning on rewriting The Hobbit.
Okay.
So all that stuff was added. Even the riddle game was even added after the first printing of the book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot to use there. He's using stuff from the Silmarillion, which happened before The Hobbit, and he's just putting in just a lot of the side stories, like the mention of the necromancer was it was mentioned in the book, but they're using an entire storyline for it and stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Because for some reason, because for some reason,
he really liked it. Everyone.
Because for some reason, I went and saw it. I thought it was great. Saw the Midnight Show. It was fantastic. I mean, you gotta love these because they're just visually great movies to begin with. Yeah. And it's The Hobbit, and I'm sitting there thinking, wait, okay, that's the end of it. For some reason, I hadn't clued into me that it was going to be more than just one movie, and then when I realized it was going to be 3, I was like, really? Because I've read this book and. It's I don't see how it's going to be 3, but
they haven't even gotten to Barreltown yet.
Yeah.
I mean, Smaug just woke up. I mean, it's still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
I need to view this movie to see if there's any metaphysical things in it.
There probably could be.
Tolkien wrote with a lot of religious undertones.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
He also, the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy was about World War II and American using their faith and so
the 12 powers of man. Sure. Will, imagination. I got a book about
it. I will say this about the difference between the 2 characters. First off, you go from The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Bilbo is such a badass compared to Frodo.
I know.
I mean, at least just looking at it movie stand wise, I'm gonna have to read the rest of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Well, Frodo also, it was him and the burden of the ring.
Yeah.
He's bogged down by it the whole time.
Yeah.
So. I mean, it's a different strength, really. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Bilbo is a badass.
Yeah.
All the fighting in that movie was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, just the stupid stuff Bilbo did. He was kind of reluctant to go on this journey and then took it on. He wanted to go.
Yeah.
He said, all right, I signed it. I'm coming. He's like, I'm gonna miss it. It's kind of.
He woke up and he's like, I missed these guys already.
Yeah. It's kind of like the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? The not wanting to miss out on something and finally just saying, screw it, let's do this. I'm with you. Almost like, right. I'm choosing to go on this adventure.
I don't want to lose out.
Here's a challenge for this, okay?
Okay.
Since y'all are talking the Hobbit movie and I've opened a can of worms.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to totally go off on a whole tangent here, but it was a good tangent.
All right.
Interesting one.
In this particular movie, there's 12 powers of man that we all incorporate within us. And they always show them in movies. It's the centers of power: faith, strength, wisdom, love, power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, renunciation, and life conserver.
Yeah, they're probably represented by most of the main characters.
Yeah.
There were 14 dwarves in the movie.
Oh,
On top of Gandalf being, the moral center, and and Elrond being the strength. And
So this is something for everyone that's watching that has seen my show go from here to there and everywhere. It's very eclectic.
Yeah.
I should probably rename it Momma J Speaks Eclectically.
Especially when you get a nerdy engineer.
Exactly, right?
Because it is very eclectic. That's how my mind goes, and that's the people that I surround myself with. I love eclectic, artistic, creative people. So, as everyone's watching this and we're having the Hobbit conversation, the males are having the Hobbit conversation. Everybody,
You're
if you
speculating,
go,
I have something to say about that.
hold
No.
on, wait for it. Just wait for it. If you are Hobbit peoples, go check it out this weekend for the holidays, especially if you have your children. I know I'll probably twist my children's arms and see if they want to go, and see if any of the things that have spoken of are totally represented in the movie. Something to look for. That way, you can find a richness in your movie seeing this weekend.
In your movie experience, I guess, would be the
Yeah,
correct word,
movie
I guess.
experience.
Yeah, your movie going experience.
I'm sorry, my brain is like so on the fritz
all good.
lately. I'm going through some static or something. I don't know.
It's the holidays.
Yeah.
It must be the holidays. But anyways, the male thing is because I'm respecting the male energy thing. Come on now.
No, but the funny
Don't
thing was,
hate.
it was one thing I noticed. I went to the midnight release. I went to the IMAX one so I could catch the special 9 minutes of the new Star Trek movie. And
I can't wait to see that one. My future husband's in it.
yes. And the funny thing was, I was sitting there. I went by myself, and I'm sitting there and watching like all these groups and couples and stuff, and all the girls are all excited about Lord of the Rings, and all the guys were just there for Star Trek.
Yeah.
It was so strange.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm the single one.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing that most of the guys are just for that thing. I mean, they're playing this at all IMAX theaters, or was it just for the midnight opening? Do you know for sure? Or?
I know it was just for IMAX, but I don't know if it was just for the midnight or not.
Okay.
It'll leak on the internet soon.
Yeah.
I want to go see Hobbit so I can see the Star Trek too.
Yeah, there's.
I know there's trailers
trailer.
online
Yeah.
at least. Yeah,
I've been
looks like it's
watching
gonna be
it, but
awesome.
it's too short.
Yeah.
I want to see the 9-minute one.
I know, right?
So,
But that'll be out this summer too, so that'll be cool.
Well, I'm gonna let you all know that we're gonna let somebody from another show come in, the Almighty One. He
JT.
says, JTTJ Almighty One. He's gonna come in and join us for a few moments and talk about something that he's gonna be doing in honor of
I don't know.
what has happened with the kids at Connecticut and all those people.
I want to break the studio apart. Is what I'm attempting to try and do.
Good job.
Aww.
I'm gonna sit next to Wiggum style here.
Wiggum.
Yeah.
Yes. How are you doing?
It's been a busy couple of days trying to do the research for all the. I have a show later on tonight at 9:30 on Comedy Slam Radio, and I'm going to be discussing this whole thing. I have a member from the Arkansas Free Thinkers who's going to be calling in.
Awesome.
They're my source for the other side, I like to call. I have a constitutional lawyer from Tampa who's going to call in. I have I'm trying to get somebody from the First Amendment show to be on the show. Just all the research on this has been very, very time consuming for me.
What exactly is the end game on this? Exactly. What are you trying to hope to find out about, or what are you asking everybody about in this particular?
Well, I mean, just all the ridiculousness in the news. I mean, I watched MSNBC for literally 45 minutes, and it just seemed every 10 minutes they wanted to talk about gun control. I'm going, 26 people have died, and that's all you care about.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned it to Fox News, and I thought they actually handled that a lot better. I'm not a President Obama fan. I think he really did a good job on this. I really will be one of the first ones to state. I think he really did a good job as far as his speeches were concerned and the prayer vigil was concerned. I really, I really think he did a good job there. But one of the things I'm trying to do tomorrow, and oh my God, it took me almost 2 hours to try and get through calling this person and calling that person, and trying to do something to help other people. Just all the red tape that you have to go through
Oh yeah,
is absolutely
anything.
ridiculous. I'm calling the police, telling them what I'm going to do. They say you need to call these people. These people says we don't give that type of license out. Call these people. These people refer me back to the police. The police refer me to somebody else. They refer me
Mhm.
back to the tax agency. So I finally got two people. I called the tax agency in Hillsborough County on Falkenberg, and I called the police back. And I don't have to get anything, apparently. I don't know what all the hubbub was, but I am going to be standing out on the corner of Westfield Mall on the corner of 60, where I-75 and 60 kind of meet,
Mhm.
on the north end of the mall, between where the movie theater is and the mall. And I'm going to be out there with a bucket trying to collect money. I have called the governor of Connecticut, spoke with a few of their associates and everything like that. I'm hoping to maybe get our governor here in Florida and my state senator from my district to call in tonight on my show to discuss this whole thing. I'm in the call, trying to call the sheriff's department in Connecticut and interview them too. But I just felt like I needed to do something. I mean, I just look back on what's happened over the past couple of weeks. I'm like, Javon Belcher shoots his girlfriend, and shoots himself. And then there's this whole thing at what was the city that was in where the mall got shot just not too long ago?
Oh, with the Batman.
No. Just recently, it was another mall.
There's
I think
another one.
Yeah. Then there's that. Then there's the Connecticut thing. And while the Connecticut thing was being interviewed, there was shots fired in a hospital. Apparently, another kid got arrested. I think it was in Oklahoma. That was going to do the school shooting on the exact same day as the Sandy Hook thing. And I just, wow. I
It's
mean, the
going
closer we get to the
crazy.
Mayan calendar thing, the people are just getting nuts. I'm like, this is December. This is Christmas time.
So what do you think is actually the problem? What do you think what issues should be tackled
Well,
to make this hopefully not happen again? You already kind of harped on gun control, like that shouldn't be the thing that we're talking about here, but I mean, is that something that should be on the table?
I heard you talking in here about, AK-47s for hunting. And while I agree with you, I mean, yeah, like what's a deer going to do? Come out with a freaking bazooka and shoot you back? I mean,
people have these guns and they say they don't want to give them up. So.
Well, yeah, but it is for protection in some cases. I mean, but I'm not going to get into that's a longer show. Just what I think people blame too much on society, the video games and everything. I mean, I did a whole post on Facebook. In the 70s, it was Dungeons and Dragons. Everybody was a mess. Then it was MTV. Then it was music videos and all that sort of stuff. But I'm gonna wind down. But I will be on 60.
You're gonna get round up.
Yeah, the mall on 60.
I had to ask. I'm my inquisitive mind. I have to ask these questions. I'm sorry.
Well, save that for your show. Save that for your show. Thank you for both of you coming in and you sharing where you're going to be this evening or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow afternoon between 2 until whenever it gets dark.
Okay. So everybody that has been tuning into my show, tune into their shows as well and find the Almighty One. JT, Almighty One. Jacqueline. Michael. We're all taking off.
We're all everywhere.
Frodo
the engineer.
We're all going there. Check everyone out, and I hope you all enjoyed the show. I hope you did get something inspirational out of it. Got your thoughts going, got healing and love energy going out to everybody. And I hope you all tune in next year. And we will see you again. Have a merry, happy Christmas, happy holidays. Be safe. Love each other. Don't hurt each other.